I am here with Dignitas' very own Lumpy. Now, we're going to talk about general esports stuff, but first, I have a question which the audience is probably asking. Where did you get the moniker Lumpy from?
Little random story. When I first started playing online games, which was when the original Xbox came out, the whole story about moving my console into we only had one internet port, so I had to move it into my sister's room. So I had to invade there to play games, and I entered something, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was taken. And this is like my first time I ever entered an alias before.
Right.
So I entered that, it was taken, and the name that came up at the top of the list was Lumpy Carrot Top. So I thought, I'll take that name.
Right,
so I took it, and then over the years, it sort of slowly became shrunk down, and people just started calling me Lumpy.
Right, okay, well that's cool, because I was speaking to Stress just now, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to speak to a couple of members of your team, and I was like, is that Lumpy? I thought I misheard the name, like I thought it was being kind of offensive, like, yo, is that Lumpy over there? Like, so no, that's good, I'm glad we're on a similar ground here. Now, obviously, i47, the i-series, big on esports, but for the people back at Cardiff University, back at home, who don't know what esports is, could you possibly, just run through it with them?
Well, esports, slowly over the years, it started off as people just playing games competitively for money, playing in tournaments, very sort of, low down, underground sort of thing. But over the last few months, over the years, it started becoming closer and closer to actual closer to real life sports. Your professional footballers, your NFL, stuff like that. Just looking at the production, the tournament schedules, the players, the online, the fans, they're all becoming very much like football fans or any other sports fan. The coin term is like cyber athlete or like esports athlete. So that's where it's become over the last few years. It's slowly grown there because people are following people like Twitter. Like some players have more followers than some celebrities on Twitter, and they're in their own way they're outright just that much bigger than some other people. It's crazy. It's blown up over the last say a few years. Yeah,
because video games are kind of crossed into the mainstream without anyone realizing it. You see Call of Duty banners everywhere. You see all sorts of stuff. So it's really interesting to see stuff like, you guys obviously getting all this press coverage. And I know in Korea, where it's for a long time, like esports athletes or like whatever they call them over there, they've achieved more like national recognition than many like actual athletes. So would you describe yourself as an athlete?
Me? I started off playing fighting games. That was where I sort of came into the whole like.
Mind if I ask what title?
Street Fighter 4.
Oh, okay.
I played like Super Turbo and Third Strike on like the Nintendos when I was really, really young. I started picking up Street Fighter 4, and ever since, just all the new stuff's come out, like Marvel and all those other games. So I started to play those a lot more now. But then I sort of came to these events, got into PC gaming through like League of Legends and and then like I was came to these events, met the guys at Dignitas, and sort of was in the right place at the right time. Yeah. Just a guy who's like, I was friends with Zacubus, who's one of the main managers, and I said like, you need a hand moving a box, you need a hand doing this, just being a helpful person. And then eventually sort of got to the point where he goes, well, this person can do this. Yeah. And after that, it just sort of slowly went, and now I'm where I am today. So
you've got the T-shirt. You are absolutely in there. Well, okay, it's interesting you talk about fighting games. There's a sort of a gulf between the FGC and esports, this sort of idea that fighting games and the fighting game community aren't esports. Do you have any comments on that?
Well, a lot of the time, a lot of the people who say that, they haven't necessarily ever been to an esports event.
Right.
They believe from like watching the streams that there is more like when something happens in League of Legends or StarCraft, they're like, oh yes, very good, very good. Like, whereas in fighting games, when stuff goes nuts, people just go absolutely ballistic. People just go mental. And they think that with the esports taking over that, they would then lose that.
Yeah, they'll be reduced to sort of a sterile base, right?
And the UK scene was like totally following that. But then they came here with the help of Unequal Media, and they've done these tournaments, and they realised that it's not exactly, it's the same. When stuff happens in League of Legends, people go nuts. When StarCraft comes in, it goes nuts. So it's like they're thinking, well, it's wrong. So they've now started to accept it. IPL 5 just recently picked up Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter Cross Tekken. I think some people will be a bit annoyed that Marvel isn't in there, but I mean, they've got to look at what the most popular game is, and Street Fighter 4 is probably still gets the most sign-ups out of all the fighting games, even though Marvel is probably the more popular hyper game. Yeah, no, Marvel definitely gets the tournament figures in. One of your team members is there with a Nerf gun, just like primed and ready. He just experienced a misfire, but it's okay. All men do. Okay, failed.
No, well, that kind of disrupted my train of thought there. No, well, that's really cool. Yeah, no, as we say, like Marvel, definitely like very, very hype. Definitely loads of people in it. But Street Fighter 4 is definitely where the money is, which is very interesting. Like, it's very interesting to see that while the FGC says, like, you know, oh, we're not esports, etc., it's very interesting to see people still gravitate towards where the money is, which is generally kind of one of the things they fear, you know, like, you know, oh, esports money, it's going to upset the competition, the community's going to change, yet they're still following that same sort of, like, trend, as it were.
It's definitely true. I mean, one of the most recent things for, especially the European scene, is with the addition of Energizer's tournament at DreamHack.
Yeah.
They had, obviously, the money, and a lot of fighting game players are used to having their money come straight to them at the end of the tournament, because a lot of time it's entry fee. They have an entry fee for the venue, which then goes to the organizer for the venue, and then the payment to the tournament. So it's like a £10 entry to the Street Fighter tournament. That then, say you get like 64 sign-ups, those tenors will then all go into a prize pot, which then gets distributed to the top 3, top 4, top 5.
Wow.
And that then, so that is literally just like a case of it's there on the day, everyone gets it.
Yeah, yeah.
But when you're talking like 4 figures,
yeah,
you can't just sort of get that overnight. So obviously it's got to go through very different trains of people, and fighting game players still at the moment are still like, well, where is my money?
Yeah.
So they kind of haven't quite got, like, you have to be patient.
Yeah.
And obviously there's a lot more. If you want the bigger money, you want the bigger tournaments, and you want to be able to make a sustainable life off it. Yeah. Like some of the StarCraft 2 players, you're going to have to sort of, like, you know, play the long game.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's ostensibly a good thing for the community that people are getting paid. You know, they're not. Like, I know Horn said a couple of years ago in an interview, it's really good that people aren't begging their friends for money now. Yep. They're not, like, scrounging what they can. They're actually being paid to go out to tournaments. And Mad Catz have made some great strides forward. Yep. You know, loads of companies have made some great strides forward. Now, out of curiosity, you are an esports man. You're wearing the Dignitas t-shirt. Where would you say you fit in the FGC, in the fighting game community?
In the fighting game community, I'm just what most people would call a stream monster.
Right, okay. I'm definitely a stream monster as well.
Yeah, I like watching my streams. I like watching it that way, but I'm also a very big fan of supporting my local scenes, supporting the local communities and whatnot, be it attending, helping out where I can. I can play the games to a good level. Like, I wouldn't say like I'm the best.
Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm like the best, but like, I can play the game. If I put more time into it, I definitely would. But you know, other things going around, it takes time away. Where some of these guys are playing like 8 hours a day. Yeah. Solid hardcore. But I definitely play the games a lot. I love the games. I'm more of a person just like, I bask in the joy of the community and how they grow. Yeah. If they grow, I grow. So it's like it goes on from there. Yeah. So that's how I'm just sort of like a middleman, like the average guy. But I like to get my hands dirty where I can.
All right, no, that's cool. One last question. We mentioned esports money earlier. How much money, just how much money is in League of Legends and StarCraft and so on?
Well, the Season 2 Grand Finals had, I think, $2 million.
Right, and that was the grand prize?
That was literally the grand prize.
And how many people was that split between?
It's like a team of 5, so I'm not too sure, like, I don't know how much, so it's a team of 5, but the thing about it, there was so much money in that event, and also the stream viewers as well. I think I had over a million unique clicks on the Twitch stream. Yeah. So it was just huge in every single way. Like, the venue was a basketball stadium which they sold out, and it was just an amazing amount of people there online. And like I say, $2 million, and there's like $1 million Dota tournament.
Someone's getting paid. That's the moral of the story.
It's like winning the lottery. Like but you probably have a better chance of winning League of Legends than winning the lottery. Like, that's how ridiculous it is. It's mad how you think about it.
It's mad that games have come along this far. Listen, you've been absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much.
No,
ladies and gentlemen, Dignitas Lumpy.
Thank you, guys.